2026 on worn tires. Segura picking up some cost to go. Can I cost?
He's been waiting in the gap though, top left of your screens. It's down to just 3. He's firmly on now. World Championship supremacy in 20.
Had 2 double wins. The latest. That is where Jorge will here because Jorge Martin, Aprilia 1, 2, 3.
3 Aprilia's finishing. Still there between Bezzecchi and Mabar. Superior pace.
Unreal. Marco Bezzecchi on podium. That was Shinji Nakano, of course, getting a wet race in 20. Down there with Ayagura. Here comes Martin though, inside that Aprilia garage.
I can assure you there will be putting all of his work on the first.
Bezzecchi gets chased down and bored him on. Surely though, now can he get close enough to make corner speed this time, Martin? And it's a turn 3 that Martin.
He just might Bezzecchi out to dry really by way of a counter attack here. It looks he's already stretching out an advantage. It's already a third of a.
Said he would come and make a case 2 or 3 laps ago for Ayagura to right out of contention. He actually might lose 4. Back at the front though, and Bezzecchi has got nothing, an onslaught.
Yeah, he came, remember, from over. Stayed patient. He's made the Minary Sunday victory. Of course, we shipped late in 2020.
And that RSGP into 3. So close to it, weren't they? This is not a given that Bez is going to have the MotoGP World
of Jorge Martin, which really hunted the lap as it's not away from the Spaniard.
It's quite a this French Grand Prix will not be factory Yamaha squad next season. Corner, Jorge Martin's because Jorge Martin on course for his first Grand Prix clear at Marco Bezzecchi.
7 laps in this French Grand, 2.5 seconds back in 7.
A GP race in Sepang. He's a nightmare stuff. Sweet as he's going to lead over. You might be thankful this is only a
Acosta. But
it really has. He has, bro. Jorge Martin, winner of the sprint, winner of the Grand Prix. What a statement for Aprilia, and what a have a one. They can't quite believe it, can they? And does take a second championship. Ayagura race, MotoGP podium, 20 long. Gian Antonio did get Acosta for 4th. Giannini, Fernandez, Aldeguer, Marini. His first or second Grand Prix points finish of the season in 13th, Morbidelli 14th. The first point scoring finish of the campaign for Jack Miller in 15th. But Aprilia, what a mediocrity was always the story as far as Aprilia were concerned, but now they are undeniably top dogs in the MotoGP World Championship. What a moment for the books will show, the result sheets will show on Aprilia 1, 2, 3. Martin, Bezzecchi, Agura, unreal job.
It was as easy as 1, 2, 3 for Aprilia today. And it's today the day when the fuse was well and truly lit in this World Championship battle between Marco Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin. There's your confirmation of Ayagura. I'd say even I forgot that Katsuyuki Nakasuga podium at Valencia back in 2012. Ayagura on pure merit. He should have got that podium back in Austin during the season before mechanical misfortune.
The third Aprilia rider with the latest Spargo, Barcelona 2023, Maverick Vinales, Austin 2024 to complete a double victory, and it is super tight at the top. Marco Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin. I think Massimo really money pinching at the moment because he's living the dream. First ever Aprilia block out of the podium, and he's with Jack.
Massimo, a historic day for you and Aprilia, the first ever lockout. Just explain what this means to you and everybody at the factory.
Thinking about last year in Le Mans here, when Jorge wanted to leave, and I said, no, I think you can win with us, so winning in Le Mans is quite special for me.
Now 1 point in the championship between Jorge and Marco. Looks as though we've got a championship fight between 2 teammates. Are you ready to manage that?
And they are smart people, they are fighters, so as long as they respect each other, I'm fine.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, and all the joy and celebrations for Aprilia. Completely forgotten it was right here in Le Mans last year that Jorge Martin did turn up while he was recovering from serious injuries to inform Massimo Rivola and the Wily factory of his intention to walk out halfway through a 2-year contract. We've got the signature Martinator celebration. You can see there the screen has gone. He's put a fist through that one. That now is the way that Jorge Martin celebrates victories in MotoGP. That, you know, I thought, well, he's just given Acosta, Bagnaia, and just it's so cool to see a rider like Jorge Martin, just like Marc Marquez, bounce back from so many setbacks, bounce back from adversity. Marc Marquez scale his own Everest in 2026.
Fist through the screen, but the biggest knockout punch he's dealt out today is to his teammate Marco. Get reeled in like that. He not only reeled him in, but passed him in a pretty authoritative fashion down at the Dunlop chicane. As soon as he caught him, He passed him. Here comes championship lead is now just a slender single point.
Some real fierce competition on the opposite side of that factory Aprilia garage. Because make no mistake, Jorge Martin is just growing in confidence. When I am fit, when I know that an RSGP is my bike, when I've tailored it for my riding style, just you watch out. I will be back winning Grand Prix. True to he's a character that really does wear his heart on his sleeve, does Jorge Martin. He put his heart and soul into that Grand Prix. And there's been some big rewards coming with it. His first win since Mandalika 2024. He's 1 point behind in the championship, and what a moment this is. Floor when Jorge Martin and his manager Albert Valera turned up to a meeting and said, we want out. We want to walk out of our contract. All the talk about a move to the factory Honda team. I think Jorge Martin right now, Aprilia and Massimo Riva in particular, are pretty happy that they settled their differences.
You think of the injury hell that he's been through. Well, last year, the Qatar crash where he was run over by Fabio Di Gianantonio. All of that hard work, all of the painful nights of struggling to sleep, the tears which he shed for a different reason over that time were all for moments like this. And I think the tears are because Jorge Martin realises, I'm a MotoGP champ.
He's a MotoGP race winner once again. He said at times at this point of last year when he could barely feed himself, where he couldn't even get himself out of bed, a Grand Prix, he wondered whether he'd actually race a motorcycle again. Well, he's proven that he is back to his best. He has proven that Aprilia at the moment have taken over the inquest with Gigi Dell'Igna, Fabio Di Gianantonio.
The very last corner, here it is, coming into turn 13. We saw it from the top left aerial shot, just lobs it up the inside of Pedro. 13 points for fourth at the final corner, and after doing so much hard, weighted fifth place. And just thinking back through the Grand Prix we've just watched, of course, taking absolutely nothing away from Jorge Martin, an extraordinary victory. But just how important in the outcome, Martin did not have to pass.
Costa looks crestfallen there, doesn't he? Fifth place, got picked off late on by Martin, by Agura, and by Di Gianantonio. Agura, the first Japanese rider on a MotoGP podium in 14 years. What a star. Let's get his thoughts on his maiden MotoGP top three with Jack.
Podium in 14 years. How much does this mean to you and all of the team?
What can I say? It's just feel amazing. The race was really tough. I tried to have good late race pace and super happy with the race and my guys, so let's celebrate.
Brilliant ride. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, what a ride. To find his way onto a MotoGP podium. He was the first rider to come out of the ATC Road to MotoGP program to win a Grand Prix World Championship in Moto2 in 2024. Congratulations, find and unearth talent in the Asia-Pacific region. Agura is certainly the top of the crop that's come out of that particular Road to MotoGP programme. The Trackhouse Aprilia crew, well, they will feel like this should have been a podium that they had in Austin a few weeks ago. Fabio Quartararo, hard performer so far this season. What a ride that was by Quartararo. He went with the soft front tyre. He was as high as second, wasn't he, in the early part of that Grand Prix. He picked up the battle. It was unstoppable, absolutely unstoppable.
On lap 10 of the 27-lap Grand Prix we've just watched, Jorge Martin, this was when he passed Di Gianantonio. He was 2.8 seconds behind Marco. He's talking to Jack.
Marco, still the World Championship leader, and that's now top two finishes in all 5 of our opening 5 Grand Prix. How do you reflect on that French Grand Prix?
Yeah, it was a very tough race, super long. I knew I wasn't the strongest, so I tried my best, and honestly I don't even know how I managed to lead 3/4 of the race because my pace was not good. I wasn't feeling comfortable. This was the maximum that I could do. I really gave my all to grab this result, and I'm very happy. So thanks to all the team, congrats to Jorge, and now we think about Montmeló.
Top job, well done.
Thank you.
He sounds actually pretty happy to take those 20. Jack, a little bit of consolation prize for the 2700P since Valentin Grand Prix career in Le Mans. Well, he will lead a historic all-Aprilia podium. He did it the hard way as well, didn't he? As low as 7th at one stage in that battle. But here is your...
What a performance. 7th at one stage. You've had to do it the hard way. But after over 500 days, you're a MotoGP winner again. How does that sound?
Thank you. It's unbelievable. I still can say Vive la France because I'm so great. My team and my girlfriend, my dog, all the people that was with me all this tough time. And yeah, I don't have words, so thank you. Thank you. Today was a good race and I really enjoyed that.
Huge congratulations.
You enjoyed it, Jorge. Trust us, and I'm sure so many of you watching at home fans, they are going home happy rider of the race. That is no great surprise, isn't it? Well, I certainly thought at this stage, when he had this early battle with Fabio Di Gianantonio, that might have comped a charge it was back through the pack. A class move that on Pedro Acosta in the first chicane. This one was pretty good as well, wasn't it? The key moments, the race-winning overtake. First, just out of picture there, Diagura streaking towards the completion of an all-Aprilia podium. There you go, there is the signature Martin celebration. Bang goes the screen on the foot pegs. I'm the boss. I'm going to be Aprilia's world champion this year. That's the message that's coming from Jorge Martin.
And we are in France, so why not bust out the Kylian Mbappe celebration 2 moments after he did smash the screen. There it is, crossing his arms and saying, is there any doubt as to who the man was today at Le Mans? It was unquestionably 1 point separating the Aprilia teammates.
As he said, Vive la France. He has enjoyed his French experience, hasn't he, in 2026. In the World Championship, it's 5 successive Grand Prix top 6s now this year for Fabio Di Gianantonio. Must have been pretty demoralising from him. Di Gianantonio ended nearly 3 seconds behind Jorge Martin, which is a pretty big old gap, isn't it, that Martin was able to put on the Ducati rider. But just as he did 2 years ago, in what proved to be a decisive double win here back in 2024, Jorge Martin is a double winner once again here in front of the French fans. And he'll be enjoying every single second of Japanese rider, 25-year-old, first Japanese rider in a MotoGP top 3 since Valencia 2012, first in the dry in 20 long years.
As you said earlier on, think of the journey that Aprilia have been on. Go back to 2021, they finished bottom of the championship. They're now the team to beat.
Non finiva mai, io forte, ma dopo ho iniziato a far fatica. Quando ho visto che quasi cade, guarda. Quando ho visto che hai passato a Costa ho detto, ok, adesso tanto arriva.
Ah, ok.
Sì, ma faceva anche così. Wow, bella. Era finita la moto.
No.
Non avevi più ali. Io ero dietro, Anche con Diglia ho perso un secondo. Non pensavo, fino a 8 della fine. Caduto Pecco. Ah sì? Sì, sì. Congrats,
Thank you so much.
First podium, no?
First one, yeah.
First one, nice. Mancavano 9 così.
Io non riuscivo più a entrare.
Penso che davanti si raffredda solo.
Mi vibrava dietro.
Ancora?
Vibrava... No, ma dopo un po', non come ieri. Ieri era molto peggio.
Sì, da dritto, no? All'inizio ho gestito un po' di più. Poi ho messo prima.
Sì, ho visto.
Perché sennò, dico, non è... Uff. Cazzo, bella.
Dopo ho provato a star lì, ma il primo giro appena mai passato, subito in 2 curve, mi hai preso molto.
Sì.
Bello, cazzo. Estamos?
So an historic top 3 for the first time ever. This World Championship, of course, starting back in 1949. Aprilia's first ever lockout of the podium. Mayora Store, the leading constructor right now in MotoGP, as Aprilia celebrate their first ever lockout of the top 3.
As I mentioned just before we handed over to the podium, Aprilia finished 6th and bottom of the Constructors' Championship with only 121 points. They got that 1 podium from Aleix Espargaro at the British Grand Prix. That's a points tally, the dominant factory. They're not just a reference, they are by far the dominant force in MotoGP nowadays. And surely the world champion is going to be standing in Aprilia leather. Martin Huge congratulations to everyone at Noale for their podium lockout today. For Ayagura then, first rider since the freakish circumstances in Valencia back in 2012. There was nothing freakish about this. This was pure talent, pure speed, pure brilliance from Ayagura. What a day for everyone at Aprilia. Second place. Well, he says he's happy, so we will take him at his word. Not a weekend where Marco is in place in the Grand Prix. But this, well, we'll find out, I guess, over the course of the whole season, just how big a weekend this truly was. Not just in the World Championship, but full. For Jorge Martin, it's a Grand Prix victory, and the World Championship chase, the pursuit of a second world title, is on.
Nobody could catch Jorge Martin in yesterday's sensational sprint, and today in the French Grand Prix, nobody could catch the brilliant Spaniard. Safe to say, he in particular for his factory Aprilia teammate Marco Bezzecchi. These are very special scenes. These are incredible scenes if you're connected to Aprilia right now. First time we've seen a Japanese rider sup some post-race Prosecco in the top class since 2012. We feel that there's plenty more. His consistent rhythm, he could see Marco the second, and another brilliant move on Bezzecchi to win that Grand Prix. Sparks flying in the first corner. Pecco Bagnaia. Look at Davide Tardozzi's expression on a miserable French Grand Prix for the factory Ducati team. No Marc Marquez today, no Marc Marquez next week. For 2026. In 20 on a miserable French Grand Prix for the factory Ducati team. No lighting up social media all around the world. I'd imagine hashtag Aprilia, hashtag French GP is already trending. Great, isn't it, as well? Fantastic to see that Japanese flag flying high and flying proud above a MotoGP podium. It's been over in Austin, Texas just a few weeks ago. Better late than never, though, as far as Ayagura and the Trackhouse team are concerned. And what a weekend it has been for the Americans. You don't have too long to wait, though, do we, for more MotoGP action, because next weekend we're hopping back over the French and Spanish league next time out. The Monster Energy Grand Prix of Catalonia, where just 1 point splits the two Aprilias.
Jorge Martin from the third row does the double at Le Mans. Fabio Di Gianantonio past Pedro Costa for fourth at the very last corner. Fabio Quartararo a sensational sixth ahead of an A at Bastianini, second at the KTM's home. Ralph Fernandez, the sole Aprilia, not up at the front. Luca Marini completes the top 10. Points to for Zarco at home, Rins, Toprak Morbidelli, and Jack Miller, his first point of the season. And it's 1 point that separates the top two. The championship battle is Fabio Di Gianantonio. Well, he's 1 point ahead of Pedro Acosta. That last corner move takes him back into third place in the World Championship. Ayagura up to fifth. All four Aprilia riders now in the top six in the World Championship. battle after a 1-2-3. Of course, Aprilia extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. The damage for Ducati with Di Gianantonio at least take a racing. Well, they maintain their advantage of scoring nearly double the points of their nearest challengers. Trackhouse 126 points back. For quite some time, the day, for the first time, they locked out a MotoGP podium. Kepandaian away from pole position, once again unable to keep that front tyre down, not as extreme as Di Gianantonio's yesterday, but it allowed Marco Bezzecchi to storm through into the couple of corners. He got boxed in though behind Pedro Acosta and stayed back in 7th. Alex Marquez at least didn't trouble Martin, was right behind him in that 8th place when he crashed in the early stages. Certainly finding a good fight in the podium battle in the early stages. Martin moving up ahead of Ayagura into 6th place. Kepandaian after he took Pedro Acosta into Dunlop. It was at that same corner, the corner where he dropped out of both the sprint and the Grand Prix last year. Not to look at, removed one obstacle, of course, from Jorge Martin's way. The one remaining rider to pass before chasing his teammate down was Pedro Acosta. He took him into Dunlop. Acosta would also lose his grip on a podium place there as Ayagura made history, becoming the first Japanese rider since 2012 to stand on a podium. But once again, that crucial turn 3 saw the battle for not just victory, but for supremacy at Aprilia swing Jorge Martin. Corners to go. Di Gianantonio snatched 4 from Pedro Acosta, but Aprilia, it was as easy as 1, 2, 3 for the Noale brand today. Martin dream double for Jorge Martin, and 1 point splits the Aprilia teammates. The battle for the championship, the All Aprilia title battle, moves on to Barcelona next weekend.